Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you Lois Graessle. Lois is a conference and away day designer and facilitator, mentor, book artist, and author. She works with organizations, groups, and individuals to help them rediscover the practical inspiration in their work and to express this in their individual relationships as well as in the workplace, conferences, and other meetings. Lois is a Southern American who has lived in Britain for over 40 years. She came to the UK after a post-university year in which she hitchhiked, worked and camped across Europe, the Middle East, India and Japan. In her 44 years in the UK, the diversity of her work has reflected her own interests and curiosity. She was editor and printer of Shrew, the first women's movement newsletter in the 1960s, and co-chair of the first National Women's Conference at Oxford in 1971. She moved on to work with young people disaffected with school, leading projects at Clapham Junction and King's Cross in London. The majority of her working career has been in education, the public sector, and primarily non-governmental and not-for-profit organisations. Clients for her work have included the General Teaching Council for England, the European Council on Refugees and Exiles, the International Tibet Network, the Mental Health Foundation, Refugee Action, Shelter, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, and Water Aid. At the Inner London Education Authority, she coordinated the work of teachers developing new approaches to learning for groups such as apprentices and, via the development of access courses, for those wanting to access higher education through unconventional routes. She has supported 2 major refugee oral history projects, working particularly closely with Vietnamese community groups. Lois's nationality has given her 2 particular gifts: the insight that comes from being an outsider to a local context, and a gentle ability with her soft American accent to question and articulate those things that groups and organizations find most challenging. Lois has always had a profound ability to listen, question, and help people to articulate what is most important to them. She then takes this information and creates ways such as conferences and workshops in which organizations can explore, communicate within themselves, learn and work towards change. Lois's contribution influences the skills and courage of the individuals and organizations who have worked with her. Lois has become a teacher and mentor for many, me included. In a world commonly focused on work content and outputs, Lois has created ways of working and communicating in which individuals can use the best of themselves and what they know. Lois is the co-author or editor of 11 books, ranging from biographies to personal financial management. Planning together and meeting together 2 of her books, which present novel approaches to effective collaboration, are used in the public and non-governmental sectors worldwide. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you Lois Graessle, who is to receive the award of Honorary Master of the University in recognition of her continued work in supporting refugees over the past 30 years.
On behalf of the Senate and the Council of Buckinghamshire New University, it gives me great pleasure to confer the award of an Honorary Master of the University on Lois Graessle.
This concludes the presentation of the awards. Lois Graessle will now give the keynote address.
I feel moved and privileged to be invited into this very interesting and impressive university community, and I'll be intrigued to see what we get up to. But hold the friend for a minute. While Dr. Worth is getting my companion for today, I'd just like to ask you new graduates just to take a deep breath, because this 10 minutes here marks the end of your student days. You're holding your diplomas, and the beginning of whatever's next. So would you just take a deep breath while he brings on my companion and think about, in your heart of hearts, what you would like to be next for you? I had wanted to bring something or someone today who would remind you of what I was going to say. When I was growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, at every family celebration, we had chocolates called M&Ms, which are a bit like British Smarties. And in fact, my sister has come from Boston today and brought the new giant-sized pack for this ceremony, right? Yeah. But little did I know, when I was eating more than my share of M&Ms, that in my adult life and in my working life, M&Ms would come to mean something quite different. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. M&Ms in my adult life have come to mean mess and meetings. Yeah. We have made mess and meetings into monsters, usually at work when the words are mentioned, or in the newspaper. We groan, don't we? Honestly, okay? Yet they are what we as human beings do. We make a mess, and then we have meetings to try to sort it out. We are not bad. That's what we do. So let me tell you what we're going to do with that today. In the next few minutes, I'd like to offer you a simple way to turn mess and meetings and messy meetings from monsters into satisfying challenges and sometimes even into fun. Yeah? I also want to show you their link with world peace. So I'm going to teach you the secret agenda for meetings. I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to give you a little homework. Okay? Seriously, y'all are very, very special graduates. You are graduating as teachers and healers, no matter what your job title or your degree description. You are graduating as teachers and healers. You are also, as Professor Farwell said so eloquently, graduating into a situation of public services when they're in a particular state of chaos and confusion and uncertainty, as are the policies about them. In this situation, many people are overwhelmed. We may feel hopeless, powerless, depressed, and cynical. And yet, we also know that it's sometimes in the most challenging times that the best of us comes out. And so I'd like you to just consider that mess is also the raw material out of which we can create new ways of working and living together. And meetings are where we come together to do this. So if you can transform even a single meeting, you can transform a little bit of the world. At the heart, I was trying to think about what gift I could bring you today. And I realized that at the heart of everything that I've learned over the years is, in fact, a secret agenda. That no matter what the business of the meeting is, no matter what, this secret agenda will help you develop your own potential find your contribution, and help you avoid powerlessness and cynicism. This is so important because otherwise we throw our life energy down the drain. It is precious, you are distinctive, and the messy world we are in actually needs your life energy. So this, and also, just to tell you as on this aside, this is secret agenda I'm going to teach you will also help with job interviews because they're meetings as well, aren't they? Yeah. It's a 3-part agenda that will help you tap into your own personal power. So let me tell you the 3 parts and then I'll tell you the story. The first one is meet yourself first. Meetings are opportunities for your personal and professional growth. So in preparing for a meeting, no matter what the business, first face yourself honestly. Ask yourself, what can I do to stretch myself in this meeting and contribute effectively to the group? That's first. Meet yourself honestly. Second, connect with someone else. Meetings are gatherings of people, and only then are they about business. So before the meeting starts, connect with someone else. It could be the person you are avoiding. Does this sound familiar? Or someone who really irritates you. But it could also be a colleague you simply have been too busy to speak to recently. The secret is find 1 or more people and simply greet them. Finally, after the meeting, review. Reflect on what you learned about yourself and keep your promises. This review is critical because your aim is to make this secret agenda a habit. It's a portable agenda. You can take it with you to any meeting. And I'd like just to tell you one story about a colleague of mine and how she did this. Thuy was a refugee from Vietnam. She had been one of the boat people, and her husband and child had died on this journey across the seas. And as a community worker for Refugee Action, she was responsible for women and children. And as a result, she had many meetings with local authorities and health authorities. And in one particular meeting, she told me, she always left feeling patronized and ignored and never able to get her point across. She felt intimidated by the aggression of several members of the group and humiliated that she actually wasn't doing right by the women and children she was representing. So this is what she did, just one thing. She said she realized that these meetings were as new a language and culture as her coming to Great Britain and learning English. Each meeting, different kind of meeting we go into, is a new language and culture. And she decided she was going to learn better skills, and work more effectively. So this is what she did. She decided that before each meeting, she would go up and greet one of those people who was most intimidating. Just say hello. Doing this, what she found is that she moved from feeling fear into actually finding the strength of her own dignity. And also, the other consequence was this courage to face what and who intimidated her also meant that she was more effective in the meeting itself. She had found a way. She had found her way. And remember, this was the agenda that she used. Before the meeting, face yourself truthfully. At the meeting, start by genuinely connecting with someone else. And afterwards, review what you learned about yourself and keep your promises. As I say, this is a portable agenda. You can take it with you anywhere. And the importance of this came to me yesterday when I was talking to a team leader, and I asked her what she found the most difficult thing about managing people, managing staff, and she said the most difficult are those who do the job properly and with no heart. Graduates, you are teachers and healers, and your true agenda is people and their hearts and minds. So I hope this secret agenda that I'm sharing with you will help you in that commitment that you're graduating with. Okay, I promised you some homework as well. And this isn't just for the graduates, this is for everyone here, okay? This morning I was interviewed by representatives of the Students' Union about whether I thought there could ever be world peace. And I told them yes. Each time we go to a meeting, we have another opportunity in this instant community that is to create a brief experience of the kind of world we want it to be. So put on your imagination now or think about your diary. Imagine that on September the 21st, which is World Peace Day, you have one of the trickiest meetings that you face. Think about one thing that you are going to choose to do differently to contribute in that setting to a more hopeful world. For example, as I said about TWE, you might speak to someone you've never spoken to, or you might decide to be on time, or you might promise to actually truly listen rather than be texting under the table. Yeah. Just one thing on September the 21st in honor of World Peace Day. Okay, just before we finish, I'd just like to say that I will be donating this bag of M&Ms to the vice chancellors for their meetings. Okay. Finally, I hope that whenever you write a date in your diary for another meeting, you will remember your meeting with the big blue M and laugh. And I hope that this memory will also help you to remember the power that you have to affect whatever world you're a part of, even something that seems small as a single meeting. This is actually true public service. Go well.